Yes, we are back. We're back. Yeah.
What's up, man? Aloha, Charlie.
Hey,
Aloha,
brother.
aloha, everybody. Hope you guys had a great Christmas. Um, we took a little extra time off, so it's been what 3 days? We had 3 days off, so right,
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. So welcome back, everybody, and I hope you guys had a great Christmas. I really do. Um, Let me get my stuff set up here. I
I
don't know
hope
if you guys
everyone.
all noticed, but you
Yeah.
see my backdrop. That's compliments of Kirk Correa. He went ahead and gave Charlie and myself this for Christmas.
Yeah. So we wanna if
And
if we get requests to go out and do like a Price and Perry show wherever, we are bringing that with us, Mel.
absolutely,
So put that up on our
absolutely.
page. But yes, we would
My,
like to say aloha. If you have a chance tonight, it's going to be a very informative show tonight. We're going to try to get down to some nitty gritty, as they call it. So I hope you folks have a chance to share this. We're having an individual join us, which we haven't had in quite of a while. But I know he's been busy, but he got reelected to another term, and that is none other than Senator Kurt Fevella. So we are happy to have him on the show with us tonight.
I did want to thank everybody for joining us on our Christmas Eve show with Santa and the giveaway. I still get like three of you that didn't respond, so I'm reaching out to you guys. Most of the gifts went out today. I want to just ask for you guys understanding as we try to compile shirts. You may not get the shirt size that you asked for, but and if that's the case, hey, gift it to somebody that can use it. Most of you guys got your gift certificates, your email. Appreciate you guys joining us and participating. It was 55 gifts to coordinate. Patsy worked very hard to try to get these gifts to people and so anyway, just ask for your understanding if the shirt is not the same size. Not everybody got shirts, so I know everybody replied with, hey, I want my shirt. I want my shirt. This is the size, but some of you got gift packs. Some of you guys got. Speaking of Patsy, here she is with my coffee for tonight. And yeah, so much mahalo out there to all of you that participated, and looking forward to the second annual. There will be no New Year's Eve giveaway. I can promise you that. But I really appreciate you guys. It was a great show. It was phenomenal, all the way down to the end with Kai, Senator and Congressman-elect Kai Kahili and his family doing a jingle for us. That was
Oh, that was
such an appropriate way to end the night, and was solid, man. Was solid. So
well. I almost cried. I was just elated that the keiki was singing in Hawaiian, a mother tongue, and the kids. I always say that that song by what's her name, Whitney Houston. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Our kiki is our future, and boy, when you teach them young, good things come out of it. So I am so proud of them.
that's all we get. I mean, you think about it. We all were put on this planet to procreate and help the next generation, and
Yes.
yeah, you're right, Charlie. That's exactly that's the future. That's our future,
Yep.
and there's so many distractions today for our youth. So many distractions, and in fact, tonight we're going to be talking about one of them. And I think the timing is great. I know a lot of people. COVID is still an issue. COVID is. We'll be talking about COVID. We'll be bringing on more experts. But tonight I invited Senator Kurt Fevella from Eva Beach, state senator. I saw his Facebook Live yesterday. As you all know, the DHHL, Department of Hawaiian Homelands, have made a proposal that they want to develop a casino on Hawaiian Homelands out there on where is that? Kapolei uh,
Yep.
or Ko'olina, wherever it is. And Senator Fevella's passion and his reasoning, I thought would be great for a show. Now, I understand that some of you all believe that gambling is a silver bullet, but we'll let Kurt share his concerns. It's going to be in his district if it passes. And I think there's a lot of frustration right now with the way the management of Hawaiian Homelands over the last few decades. We have 29,000 people, Native Hawaiians, that are on waiting lists. I personally know of a few that have died waiting for their home. And I think for them to come out now and say, hey, you know what? If we open a casino, billions of dollars that we can use to build more homes. Well, listen, guys, you guys have had access to a lot of money. And I have not seen the proportionate amount of homes being built for our Native Hawaiians. It frustrates me to just see our homeless communities grow with Native Hawaiians and Department of Hawaiian Homelands sitting on a ton of land. And now to come up with a proposal for a casino, one casino, like that's going to solve all the problems. And
Well,
that would generate revenue.
Let me kind of tell you, my feelings. First of all, I have been on the Hawaiian Homelands list as a native Hawaiian. My father's pooling number went to my brother, which he was fortunate enough to get one. I've been on the list now for 37 years, and I'm still waiting.
Yeah. And building a casino is not going to expedite that. Anyway, we'll talk about that once Kurt gets in.
Well, the thing about it, I want everybody to know too is some time ago, we talked about gaming in Hawaii, but there's going to be great pushback, first of all, from people like Hawaii Gaming Group that has a vested interest, right? Because they got a lot of people flying to Vegas. So, but one of the things that was mentioned way back then was a shipboard gaming. And that is, if it didn't work, you untie the ship and you let it go. You don't hurt the infrastructure. This one has a dire, if it doesn't pan out, it will hurt the infrastructure. There's no doubt about it. Mm-hmm. That's something that I worry about. And I don't know what people know about it, but you can ask all the experts and they'll say it takes a huge amount of team players to get a casino up and running. You just don't, this is not your backyard card game. It's nothing like that. You got to get on gaming commission. You got to, and plus it's illegal in the state of Hawaii. So we can talk more about that.
Yeah, that's where it starts for me. Gambling is illegal in Hawaii. It's illegal. And the other huge thing, and I think Kurt will touch on this, is there was no communication with the beneficiaries. There was absolutely no communication with the governor. This was just a bunch of people, 9 guys got together, 5 people said yes, 4 people said no. And I watched the voting part. I watched a couple of the comments, and the comments from the people that voted no was very simple. It was similar. It was that, hey, there's been no communication with the beneficiaries. Charlie, you hit it on the head, man. A casino? It was so funny because they were talking to somebody from Vegas, and they were saying, I don't think the state can pull it off. Running a casino is not, you just cannot start a casino.
You look at Atlantic, Atlantic City. It's a prime example of how many casinos failed. And that's what happens when it's not done right. And you just because, the old adage is, we build it, they'll come. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way at all. I mean, look at some of the small dives they got in Vegas right now. That's in some of those kind of crappy motels, right?
Hmm.
They hardly get business.
Yeah.
So, this thing has to be, and I'm not saying because I'm not for it, but it has to be one mega facility that it's going to be like people would redirect and come to Hawaii to gamble instead of going to Vegas at one casino. It's just not going to work.
It's and again, it opens the door. We'll talk about the social costs that are hidden. People go to Vegas and say, "Yeah, I go to Vegas. Look, everything looks cool." Yeah, well, go. I remember taking my kids one year. We went to Vegas and we drove. I took the football kids, and we drove right outside of Vegas, the Vegas, the Las Vegas, and drive through some of the dumps around it, and you can see the
Yep.
hidden social costs. So anyway, Kurt's knocking at the door. I'm always excited to have Kurt on because he's, Charlie and I, we run a very subdued show. We're almost boring. And then we bring on a guy like Senator Kurt Fevella, which I'm wondering where he's at. I watched his Facebook Live last night, man. He had me pumped up. I don't know what happened to him, though. Kurt, your video is off. Kurt, your video. Turn on your video, bro.
You can hear me?
We go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Hey, Senator, aloha, mahalo
How's
for being
it?
here. Belated Merry Christmas and wishing nothing but the best for you and your ohana in 2021, my friend.
Thank you guys. Merry Christmas to all you guys and see me off.
Well, you are one of our. Oops, is it okay? Holy
Wait,
moly.
sorry.
You are.
I got like an 18th century hold on. All right.
You have always been one of our fan favorites on the show. And last night, as I watched your passionate Facebook Live, started off in the daylight and ended up in darkness. My wife and I put them on my speaker, the big speaker, and we listened. And I obviously, I texted you while you were doing your Facebook Live, inviting you to come on because what is happening right now, and you touched on so many of the points last night, is could be very detrimental and devastating to our state. I'm going to leave it at that, Senator, and turn it over to you so you can share with us from the ground level what actually is going on. I think a lot of us saw the snippets on the news, in the newspaper, but you made a personal, you basically called out Bill Isla in the Hawaiian Homelands Commission last night. What's going on, my friend? What's going on?
The bottom line is this, guys. I mean, this is decades and decades of mismanaging Hawaiian homelands, and it's been a tradition of old, and they just continue on. The bottom line, guys, and again, thank you for allowing me to be on your guys' show. Really love to be here and talk to your Facebook fam out there. But the seriousness of this is that people don't understand is that it always falls upon the back of the Hawaiian people of Hawaii. And we know, and when Joby and Isla was coming up for confirmation and walking around, I denied seeing them because I didn't want to confirm both of them because of this kind of things that we know that they're capable of doing on great levels. So he didn't get the support, so they went separate, and he got in as a deputy director. Of course, I voted no, and then he was the acting director. As soon as they made him acting director, he hired Joby back, and she had a big pay cut, $10,000. So the bottom line is these guys are within themselves making decisions for the beneficiaries and they never consult them. Kali Watson has a 5-acre lot that he make almost 700,000 plus. He has 3 failed projects. Three failed projects. One of them, excuse me, was the body and fender, not a Waianae High School for Native Hawaiian children to learn how to do body and fender. Never finished them. Never returned the grant money. Kept them. Decrepit homes. This is the one that Joby came with an armed guard to Nanakuli High School's cafeteria to tell us the great things that Kali Watson is doing. Average house he spent on $5,000. $5,000. Okay, we add them all up. Lucky was 25 to 30,000 he spent. He had a $200,000 to $300,000 grant to do that. Again, never turned back the money. So this is things that they keep on bypassing the beneficiaries. So, okay, so then we fast forward to this situation. Okay, now, all the beneficiaries, everybody heard him say, it's like you and me, we all heard him on the news, HPD, chief of police, everybody, counselors, everybody heard him all on the news. They had this plan before, what his name, Gomes, Tyler Gomes was even there. This is a Joby and Isla's idea. And how I know this is because when I confronted Isla in passing Verona Village with all those trucks and dumping loads in one big hole, that he told me somebody stole a coral behind Kamakan Ali. Somebody stole millions and millions and millions of tons of coral, and they didn't know. So, good thing Kamakana is going to pay to fill it up because they're going to do that for their nice, kind heart people. They're going to make the extension of Kamakana. Lo and behold, that's their casino. That's where they want to put the casino. The youngest person in Verona Village is in their 70s. We're talking about the ones that is the beneficiaries for Verona Village in Plantation, okay? The oldest is 96. 96. So the reason why I called him out, and I get into it because he wants to be number 2 in my backyard. This is where I grew up. This is my family. These are the aunties and uncles and grandmas and the kids that I went to school with, played sports with, hang out with. You know, once in a while, I used to have chicken fight back in the day. But the bottom line is this is a family community. They never asked none of us. They never asked the beneficiaries. Now they want to go. I think the first consultation they're going to have, brothers, is Kapolei is going to be January 8th. How is that? Any place else in the world, this kind of stuff wouldn't happen. But why is it constantly happen to us, the people of Hawaii? Why is it always? Because we have a broken system that everybody in that building should get fired and quit, or they should go jail for mismanaging the money. You know and I know, if we mismanage the kind of money that they're mismanaging, we'd be in jail. We'll be in jail. But they get a slap on the wrist or they get a pass. It has to stop. There's so many homes in Hawaiian homeland and the land is being swapped and taken anytime to do with anything with Hawaiian homeland, where the beneficiary is not going to benefit, like this right here with Kamakana Ali. They gotta counsel. They gotta talk to all the beneficiaries. They gotta talk to them. Then they gotta get the okay from the Department of Interior. But because the Department of Interior have been sleeping for decades, including Mauna Kea, they've just been doing whatever they like, and there's no checks and balances. So the reason why I call all these guys out, like Kali Watson, Joby, and Isla, now you guys want to make a home and make number 2 in the backyard where my family, historical railroad tracks, and where we grew up. This is a family town. You want to take something like that? Go on to, see, Bill Isla has a property with his wife. Yeah, he used to fix boats on that property. Yeah, and somebody was going to make one drone overpass, showed all the rubbish on top of ag land, and then only recently they're clean them. Yeah, but if you and me ever put something on top of our ag land, Hawaiian homeland, we'll get on top of the termination of lease. But these are the inconsistencies we get every single time they meet. They get termination of lease, termination of lease. So that's the reason why it really just bothers me now that they think they can go back in time and consult when they already made the deal. And the sad part about it is they'll use Gomes. They use Tyler Gomes as the scapegoat. And I talked to him. And I talked to him face to face before I made the decision. When I wasn't going to go up on him on the floor, but I talked to his parents. I looked in his parents' eyes, and I gave that boy a chance. And what he did, exactly what everybody else before him did, step on the Hawaiians' back. Sorry, I cannot handle that. And that's the reason why we are making a peaceful, organizing, informational gathering at the Capitol on January 4th. And everybody said, hey, Chris, why January 4th? Why are you doing it? It's an informational thing. We need to start getting the message out. That's why I thank you guys for this kind of programs to get the message out. Enough is enough. Not just because it's not just a Hawaiian issue. It's a quality of life, state of Hawaii issue. So everybody that calls Hawaii their home and think Hawaii is the most beautifulest place, even though we no more pineapple and sugarcane, well, not all the islands get. Even though we no more pineapple and sugarcane, people still come here to live and retire because of the quality of life we have here. This is not Vegas. This is not Alaska. This is not California or LA or wherever. This is Hawaii. Why can't we just be happy that we live in Hawaii instead of trying to always be like everybody else? And you guys know the previous past, what happened to us when we wanted to be like the Westerners, right? Who got overtaken by the Westerners. You know what I'm saying? So again, we just got to be proud of what we have and hold these guys accountable. And my thing to all my family and friends on the list and living in the homestead, this is the year 2021 to ask our legislators, our governor, and Congress, we want land, not lease. And you know how dare Isla talk about our prince on how he would have liked this and all of that. Miley Shirabakura, she's the senator with the largest Hawaiian district. And she thought that's a good thing. You know what I mean? I mean, this is people that is so out of touch, they stay in Mars. Because when we had 200-300 people march down to the Capitol, told Miley, Aole Isla. She said, oh, Senator, he live in my district. What can I say is that? He live in my district. So does the other 1,500 people that was there. They live in your district too. You know what I mean? So these are the kinds of stuff, guys, that we need to share. Neighbor Island-wise, thank you guys, all the Neighbor Island, especially Hilo, Kona side. You guys been really, really, really great response to what we're doing over here on Oahu. But if we do not make a stand now, we're going to have, Oahu will be the next Las Vegas. And we cannot have that. We cannot have, I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not a gambler. I like to go play slots once in a while when I go up there and visit family. But gambling is not for me. And you know what the sad part about it, guys? You guys know this, dude. I know you guys know. You guys get your guys' research done. You guys are very, very smart on this. Hawaii, Oahu, and all the Hawaii Islands. Okay, I know it's nothing new to you guys, but I'm going to share with you, with everybody out there. Out of the 50 states, okay, Hawaii has the biggest addiction to sports gambling. Sports gambling now. Even though gambling is illegal in Hawaii, we get the highest divorce, suicide. And I shared with you guys, I have a classmate, awesome guy. Oh, shit. I wasn't going to say guy. Forgive me, guys. Forgive me, your family out there. I love you guys. Person took his life because of gambling. Great man. Great family. I'm sorry, but I didn't want to share. But I said it, but forgive me. But the reason why I say
last night
this is real.
Last night you were very careful
Yeah.
But I didn't want to interrupt, but Senator,
Wait.
I gotta interrupt only to say, guys,
No.
we've been on for about 17 minutes, and this brother has my blood boiling to the next level. So you need to hit the share button. You guys gotta share this. This message needs to be heard by everybody across this state, across the country. Please hit the share button now. Sorry to interrupt, Senator. So sorry.
No. So the reason why that it hit so close to home, but I get family members that to this day lost their wives, lost their lives, lost everything to sports gambling. And this is before internet. You know what I mean? This is way before internet and all this kind of stuff. We have a big gambling community in Hawaii. And if we cannot even control it now, that's why I was disappointed that they never call out to Queens Hospital. One of them is the major ones because they get a lot of attempt suicides. Yeah. Now, of course, it's because of the corona and lack of jobs. But try get the statistics. They're going to tell you. You guys know that. Kahi Mohala in my district, planning attempt suicides and suicides because of sports gambling. And people think it's a joke. Oh yeah, bring them over here. Let's go put them over here. It's not funny. Then sex trafficking. We tried to work with law enforcement to downsize on sex trafficking, sex crimes. But you think that's going to enter? And you know what the part was? Tyler sat there and said, "This is what he said. Oh, gonna be 1%. It'll be 1%. Yeah. And then when the thing open up, we'll probably rise at like a little bit over 2%, and then everything will come back down to 1%." You know what? I talked to the assistant chief, John McCartney. You know what he said? That thing is skyrocketing now because we get all the illegal gambling houses that they cannot even, they're getting a hard time in controlling. You know what I mean? So you cannot tell me. And then we're right slap dab in the most uh, uh, drug, alcohol, and other addictions in the community. We got our veterans that is going through hard times because of certain addictions that they accumulated from going, well, you're going to put all of this right in their lap to set them up to fail? We have everyone that you could think of, the most vulnerable people. And you know what I like about my community? A community, family and friends that's going through addiction now. That's the same thing that they said that you and talk to some of the people that was asking you why casinos is already illegal or gambling is illegal. But my family and friends that I grew up here in this community, they wasn't ashamed to express themselves and tell them that's going to be another addiction to our people. We're ready to get alcohol. We're ready to get drugs. Now we're going to be gambling. Why do we want to oppress? And that's the word. The state of Hawaii is oppressing the people of Hawaii by doing this. It's an oppression. And you know what? You guys know this, and I know this. Kamakana Ali did nothing to build homes in Hawaiian Homestead. They wanted 165 more lease, right? What do you think would happen when these guys who got busted for bribing one senator, in one of the states, I don't know which one was, for 400,000, went jail, and then sad to say, I think Trump made a mistake. He didn't pardon the guy. So this guy is coming down now. Now that he's clean, you know what Tyler them said? Oh, we'll check their background. They should have no priors. That's all hogwash. What brings crime? What started Las Vegas, guys? Syndicate money, mafia. That's all. And you know what? Everybody joke around with that, but that's the truth. The truth to the matter. We do not need Vegas in Kapolei and Evo Beach. We don't. Seriously. And everybody was talking to me and telling me, oh, we should have lottery and bingo and all of that. And I talked to some of my colleagues and they said, the reason why those things don't work, if you look at the states that they did them, it will work good in the beginning. Oh, we're going to give all the money to the schools, right? We're going to do lottery. All the money going to the school. So guess what happens? The state stopped funding the schools. Now they're only depending on the lottery money. When the money don't come in as much, then we're right back in the same place, not having money for our schools. So it sounds good in theory, but we really need to really look into it. And I'm going to tell you right now, those guys didn't do the homework. You know how I know? Because they never asked the guys I would ask. the longtime senators and representatives in that capital have all the knowledge of previous past people bringing gambling and lottery. They gave me so much information that I was just amazed. That's the reason why Hawaii don't have it. It's going to change the quality of life and the whole aspect about Hawaii. They thinking it's not, but you gotta be, like I said, you gotta have not blinders on. You gotta open up your eyes and really see what Vegas. Why do you think they call Vegas Sin City? Because why? They get church every day, Bible study? No, because there's a lot of so-called sinning going on over there. And then they say,
and Senator, why you think they call Vegas the ninth island?
yeah, right.
Because of exactly what you said. The Hawaii's attraction and addiction to gambling is incredible.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and doing this here in this wonderful state on your island, in your community, is going to be a Pandora's box like we've never seen. And what bothers me, Bill Isla, Joby, all of these people have been around long enough to know. They go Vegas. They have been around long enough to know. I understand the attraction to money and the fact that some snake oil salesman came down and said, listen, Bill, open up just one casino. We'll control it. It'll be tight. It'll be this. It'll be that. No. It's not. It's going to open the door for others to follow. And like you said, once the state relies on the gambling revenue, then they become addicted themselves to the funding mechanism of gambling, and it never goes away. And the trail that this activity leaves behind is lasts forever, affects generations.
Yeah.
And I guess I just want to say, I'm reading the comments, and a lot of people are supportive, very supportive. But I want to thank you, Senator, personally, for stepping up, speaking out, and letting the people know what's really going on at DHHL. See, because the management is the problem. The management of the DHHL has been a problem for decades.
Yes.
And this new ridiculous proposal needs to be stopped.
Yes.
Immediately.
You know the thing. Yeah. You know the thing is, like they said, right? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? There's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, nobody wants to share too much stuff that happened in Vegas. Not everybody in their right mind. That's why you think they pump so much alcohol and oxygen into the building. They don't want you to remember Vegas. They want it to be a blur. Because why? Always the house win. You know what I mean? The sad part about it is that, like I said, I feel sorry for all the people that is on the Hawaiian homestead list, all the families that I shared, personally experienced my family dying right after they get their homestead. You know, my sister, I don't think she lived 7 years after she got her homestead and she died. You know what I mean? Those are the kind of stuff. My brother-in-law's brother, we call him Brother Joe. He went Oahu all his life, worked hard construction all his life. Finally get his Maui home, died. You know, this is personal experience. This is not stuff that I hear about. It's not rumors. It's rumors. It's stuff that I experience, that I get so disgusted to look at people like that, to be the downfall of their own people. You know, we got to stop. Hawaiians got to stop abusing Hawaiians before anybody else can recognize us as the people, the indigenous people, the people that from Hawaii. And we get people like that just going around and thinking it's so easy. So easy. That's the reason why I have a lot of other gatherings that we're planning, but small groups. We try to do small groups. We try to have everybody social distancing, like how we did at the homestead. You know what would make me sad? While we was out there, we had about 45 of us, and we even had Councilwoman Heidi, out there with us, from the Mililani district area. She was out there. We had about 45 of us, but only a few of us decided to go in the circle and pray. Fully. He goes on top of his commission meeting and say that, they only get 14 or 10 guys up there. I don't care if I had 2 guys out there. It doesn't matter. Because the proof is in the pudding. Majority of Hawaii do not want a casino. And I just urge all your listeners out there, everybody that is on Oahu, and whoever is capable of coming to the capital, to please come down. It's going to be an educational thing and mostly sign waving and petition signing. And then we're going to go from that on. We're going to figure out where it's going to be. Because Miley already signed on them. So you know she's going to hear it in her committee. You already know that because she's the Hawaiian committee, which is great that I'm the only Republican because I'm on all 16 committees. So you know I'm going to be in that committee. But the downfall, I guess you can say, they're going to try to push them through her committee, I guess, if it's heard or somebody brings it up. Probably would be her. But her and Jared, Senator Jared and Senator Miley, is in there. They're chair and vice chair of that committee. So if we need a miracle of God and we need plenty of people to put in testimony now, they should start emailing those 2 senators right now and let them know, aole to casinos. Aole to casinos. Because you hit it on the head. When I was reading your advertisement, when I was going to come on and talk about the casinos, and you was talking about the addiction and the long-term effects, what's going to happen to the people in the community of Hawaii, you know it. And this is the thing I will share with your audience so they know, besides I telling to go back to the original Prince Kuhio's trust. Give my people land. That's what he said. He never said give my people leases. And I'm going to tell you another one. He said to go ahead because our people can prosper. They can. We can overcome. We can overcome things. And you know what the sad part about it is? These guys who are in control, they don't. They really think that we cannot prosper on our own. You try to give somebody their deed. There's going to be stipulations and stuff that you're going to have to structure when you give somebody their deed. But if you give somebody their deed, they're going to be able to build their own house. They don't need Hawaiian homes. Hawaiian homes, that building should be turned into a multicultural center and get rid of everybody. It's a waste of money over there. Because that was a slap in the face to all the senators, yeah, that didn't want to push Joby through. But he would rehire him. That's the kind of underhanding, undermining kind of stuff that they do. And they're going to continue to do it. But we got to stop them. 2021, we're going to stop this. Stop the insanity. So I hope all the rest of my colleagues in the House and the Senate and in OHA, everybody gets around this and squeeze it and take the life out of it because we cannot go forward. And I shared with Senator Gabbard how I felt, and I'm glad that he's against it. But Verona Village is right there, guys. I mean, I don't know how close I can show it to you guys. It's sad. Representative Stacey Eli, she's against it. So, you know, we got some great people that is against it right now, but we just don't want this to be slipping under the radar. I guess you know what they're going to blame, right? Oh, the virus. The virus. That's why we couldn't do this. No, exactly what the commissioner said, Patty and the rest of the commissioners said. Why are we rushing this? Why are we rushing it? Why don't we talk to the beneficiaries? Why don't we have consultation, and then we go vote? And then, of course, it's like a fixed game. Ayla had the card. He was the deciding vote, you know? And then the guys that voted, the sad part about it, guys, to let you guys know out there, the 4 guys that voted for it, they're not beneficiaries. They're not. The one guy on the big island, he's not. That's why I voted against him. But they get non-beneficiaries, non-guys like that are not even waiting on the list, making for decisions for people on the list. So I don't know what else we can do, what else we can say, but I will tell you this, and that's the reason why, like I said, I drew the line in the sand. I told all my family here in Ever Beach, yeah, I'm going to fight this to the end. As Verona Village, that casino would not happen. Will not happen. Not in that area that they wanted. It's not going to happen. I walked that district with them when they were suffering because the city couldn't make up the mind if they was going to fix that place for those legacy plantation workers. Yeah, Peter Savio and the city now is making a negotiation to go in there and finally, after decades and decades of worrying, yeah, if they would ever own their own house in the plantation, what was promised to them long time ago. Now it's going to happen, and then you're going to make it into a zoo. That is really, really not doing their homework. And I'm really sad, guys. I'm really sad that Isla, like I told you guys before, and I said this, and I say this again to your family and friends out there. Listen, when I told you guys back then that Isla was doing his own thing, because Suzanne K said Isla was leading him, even though Isla would deny it to me to my face. He led every single encounter without any consultation. I asked him what commissioners would approve taking down the library, what commissioners was counseled to take down the altar, and then I asked him who and what commissioners was involved, including the governor and the DLNR, was in favor of arresting the Kupunas. All Isla. And everybody said, no. Now look, the governor came out and said he's against the casino. So what does that mean, guys? He never told the governor nothing. Just like how he never told the governor when he was going to arrest the Kupunas on Mauna Kea. This insanity got to stop, and it got to stop with him.
Senator, I get two quick questions before Charlie did a lot of research on this today, but I two questions before I turn them over to Charlie. The first one, if you know, how did our Kauai delegation, or what's the temperature for our Kauai delegation? Senate President Kochi, Representatives Tokioka, Nakamura, and Morikawa. That's the first question. Second question is, will they be having hearings on all the islands regarding this? Because this will affect the entire state, not just Oahu.
The first one is the only one that I kind of was in dialogue with a little bit, and I seen him. He came out right away in the paper, was Senate President Kochi. The rest of you guys delegates up there, I never really had a chance to talk to all of them. That's the reason why I'm doing this on January 4th. I'm inviting every single representative, every single senator, and if to reach out to me to let me know what is their stance, and if they don't, at least answer the email and let me know if they're coming or not. And then the other one is guarantee no, they're not going to go. No way. They don't like the confrontation. But you know what the sad part about it? I think one of the guys that made the decision from the commission comes from your island, yeah?
Yeah, he voted yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Commissioner Nevis.
Yeah, and I he has great family here, and they're not happy. They're not happy. But for him, if you listen to him talk, it was all about the casino. He had family in the casino. He had family in the mainland working in the casino. Everything casino. So if you look at his eyes, he already had Viva Las Vegas in his eyes. So you knew he was going that way. But I just pray for all these guys who made the decision, rushed this decision going forward. And I pray that they would consult Kauai. And, I just pray like guys like Robin Danner and, the Shore, Kamake, Kanahele. I want to see some, I see on Facebook Robin Danner's posts and stuff. But I want to see the Shore. I want to see these guys come out and join us, elbow to elbow, 6 feet apart, and show that we're all united in this one thing. Because and I know, casinos is not good. I don't care where they put them. Tell you the truth, they should put them in PBT right there where they belong, in the landfill. Throw them away. Because other than that, that's the sad part. They use the excuse, yeah? And I see these guys, I can tell you, when I went to the Big Island meeting, when they had their meeting on the Big Island, because you know how sometimes they have island to island, yeah? So I was invited by some of the families, homesteaders in the Big Island, Hilo. That's when I got to go up there. But you know what I found out? They all ride first class. Okay? And if you are riding on a first class dime, on the state's dime, I don't care how much miles you get, the miles was given by you from the state flying airplane. Okay? You know what? I don't want to blow my mind. These guys drinking. They're drinking on a plane, thinking that I wasn't going to see their wine that they was drinking. So I just hope they was on vacation when they was flying. But because they break the rules all the time. But us guys, as a team, gotta hold him accountable, guys. We gotta hold him accountable. And you're right. They should have Tyler and Isla fly to every island, do a Zoom with all the people on the list, and not only the people on the list, the people that has a big vested interest in all the people of Hawaii, not just homesteaders now, everybody of Hawaii, and they should listen. But you know they're not going to do that. They use the excuse, oh, we had our meeting here in Kapolei. They do executive meetings and hide behind closed doors and make decisions under the mat. First of all, they got to restructure the whole homestead, seriously. But I thank you for you guys, time on you guys' show. And if you guys get anything out, if anybody out there get anything questions for me, I'll be there January 4th with my song system, with my music. Hopefully I get some other people out there. But like I said, if it's just going to be me, myself, and I, then it's going to be just me, myself, and I, because I'm going to tell you why. I'll fight to the end to my community, and I'll fight to the end for my family. And I'm going to tell you right now, when I say Facebook land and Facebook fan, all of you guys out there in Hawaii and beyond is my family. You guys show invested interest in a common denominator here, or a nominator, whatever you like call them, is no casinos. No casinos. So I get anything you guys want to ask. I'm happy to answer questions.
Charlie, I will be asking Bill Isla. I'll send out a formal invitation tomorrow to Bill, to our Kauai Commissioner Nevis, to come on to our show. I do not believe they will respond, but I can assure you that I will send out the formal invite tomorrow, and have both of them on our show. But I know Charlie had some discussion.
Well, thank you, Senator. You know, I'm going to admit, I'm real naive about this thing, but, I went on the list, and before you came on, I was calculating the years that I've been on the Hawaiian Homes list. And next year, actually, will make 38 years I've been on the list. So I get 38 years. But it's okay, because my dad passed his rights down to my brother, and my brother was able to get one land. But I applied myself on Maui. And then I tried to transfer back up here. But, they said you got to move to the back of the list. But, I was looking at the Department of Hawaiian Homelands Act. That's the Act of 1920, correct?
Yes.
And this is the part that gets me. It says Native Hawaiians are defined as individuals having at least 50% Hawaiian blood. So the thing that's catching me and it's making me boil just like you is that, as you know, my brother died from COVID. And if it wasn't for him revealing paperwork that trace his lineage on my mom's side, that makes me 75% Hawaiian. My dad being pure, my mom being half. And so that's why more and more I'm starting to get into this thing. So now I'm looking at what you're talking about, the casinos, and this is what I wanted to ask you. Everything I read in this Hawaiian Homelands, this is the one you can go online, you can pull the thing, right? It talks about here, the primary responsibilities of the Department of Hawaiian Homelands are to serve its beneficiaries and to manage existing land trusts. The land trust consists of over 200,000 acres of acres on the islands of Hawaii, Maui, Molokai, Lanai, Oahu, and Kauai. DHHL provides direct benefits to Native Hawaiian in many ways. Beneficiaries may receive 99-year homestead leases. We hear so much about the Hawaiian people not be able to get on the land to get a place. Yet, if they do get a place, somehow they have to come up with a down payment or whatever the thing may be. So it's not like they're getting something for free. They're working hard for it. What I cannot understand is when we're talking about the casino, is the business plan of the casino to accomplish what? Is it to accomplish more land? I mean, they're already spelling out how much land we get. Is it to build more houses? What is it? And I cannot see, because this is, like when we talk about drugs, right? You get the gateway. You take one, that thing will lead into another. I'm looking at this one building. There is no way There is no way that it alone will be able to get all these other homes that's needed for Hawaiian people if they're saying that we need revenue generated from this casino. Because then you're going to ask for one casino. Next thing you know, you're going to start asking for two casinos. Next thing you know, you're going to ask for three casinos. Next thing you know, the state is going to say, hey, you know what? Since you're doing so good at a casino, the state no longer involved in helping with the DHHL. Then basically, we shook the responsibility into this addiction that
Yes.
now, if nobody manages it right, you lose a whole ball of wax.
Yes.
Because it says up here, except for provisions that increase benefits to leases or relates to the administration of the act, the law can be amended only with the consent of Congress. If we're not careful on what we do, we may lose a whole ball of wax. So my question is, when you talk to Isla and all them, did they know this? Because it seems like they're rolling the dice on one hope and one hope only, that they hit it big. If you look at all these casinos in Atlantic City that are belly up, did anybody ask them how come they're belly up? We're looking at just one casino. The business plan or the model of that one casino, did they share with you, sir, how it's going to benefit DHHL in any way?
No. And this is the thing. So even previously, and all the questions that I had asked them, and all the land that they had swapped, trade, or lease, I still never get accurate answers for that. You are correct. We, no matter how much money you dump into the Department of Hawaiian Homeland, the structuring is wrong. It's flawed. When Prince Kuhio had enacted the act, he didn't get to put in the rules and he wrote some stuff down, mercantile, churches and stuff like that. He put some stuff down, but he died a year later. So it was an open ball field. And if you read in the beginning part, when he said give his people land, he was talking about all the people. Blood quantum came from Congress. Congress had enacted the blood quantum and had all of this come down to the management of the state of Hawaii. So the people that had blood and had the cocoa, they could go on and have Kuleana land, could have Royal Patent land, all of these lands that was out there for the Hawaiian people that had blood. But not only blood quantum. That wasn't the intention. But you got to look at the Hawaiian Homestead Act. It wasn't supposed to be enacted more than 4 years. Was a period of time that it was going to be dissolved, because he really thought in his mind that every single Hawaiian and everybody that called Hawaii their home was going to be set up. That's how much acreage had, and that's what he was. So this is the thing that I tell to Isla: if our kings and queens and our prince could think about the future and the health and welfare of our people, there wouldn't have been a Queen's Hospital. It would have been Viva Las Vegas. But they wanted us to perpetuate in our property, in our land, to make sure we have good medical, and good areas so that we can raise our family. When he comes on and says stuff like that in hearings and meetings, that he betraying our prince, that's a slap in everybody's face. And this is the thing. This is the thing that you guys got to be worried about. The word called, this is a bad word to all the Hawaiians on homestead land and the beneficiaries that is on the wait list. Fee simple. Fee simple. Okay? Nana'i Kapono Elementary School. Okay? Kali Watson, Kamake, and Joby, and the rest of those guys who was in Hawaiian Homeland wanted to move that school above in Nanakuli and make that property, because some of that property is by the park, and both sides the park is owned by Hawaiian Homeland. They was gonna make, take this one now, guys. You guys think I'm joking? It's no joke. They was gonna make condominium timeshare. Slowly but surely, these developers and these investors are turning the key slowly Like you said, Congress can just enact this. Yes, that's the reason why we got to take control. How Congress we want to disband them our way, not their way. Because you know and I know, I'm a Republican. So my Republican colleagues up in the mainland, the state and the representatives, they don't want to recognize Hawaiian homeland. They don't want to recognize it. They don't want to have nothing to do with it because they're tired of the Eskimos and they're tired of the Indians. So they want to dissolve all of that. See? But we got to be careful on how we're going to orchestrate this whole mechanism. We need to, as the people of Hawaii, not just Blood Quantum, we have the people of Hawaii got to take control. We need to take control. There's some good brothers up there on the Big Island. I'm not going to mention their name. They're doing great things, but we got to worry that this property.
Let me ask you this one question, maybe, and this is because I see your passion, and the question is this, and I plan to ask Isla this: was Isla ever asked if your idea of a casino is to generate revenues so we can build more homes for the Hawaiian people? What makes you think you have the money now? You can build a casino, but you don't have the money to build more homes now.
Exactly. So that's the reason why he made Tyler Gomes be the puppet, so that he doesn't have to say that he said those words exactly what you said. Yeah. See, this is the thing. No matter how much money you give them, Kamakana Ali, all those guys, right? You give the money, they're not going to be able to do the job. Because they didn't do the job previously, they're not going to be able to do the job now. The problem is hiring developers. Here's the key, guys. Hiring developers and making land swap deals with developers, not again, talking to the people that live in Kapolei, the beneficiaries, the people on the list. Inside Kapolei, there's 4 houses. It's not on a homestead list that was given to Gentry Development. Okay? Gentry built those homes in there. Okay? Turnkey homes. Why did Gentry get the purview of building and continue to build Hawaiian homeland with no other interference, no other entity? Nobody else can put in one bid. We don't even know about the bid. We don't even know who would put in the bid. But Gentry has the exclusive rights to build all the homesteads, even the ones over there by the Kruk Center. All Gentry. How did they get that cushion deal? Then, if you look on the other side of the homestead, they get a subdivision that used to be Hawaiian homeland. They get roads, 2 roads, coming into Hawaiian homeland property from Gentry. So these are the things that we got to be careful, because developers like that is looking for the word free simple. You and I know, my uncles, my aunties, my cousins on Hawaiian homeland, the ones especially the big lots in Nanakuli and in Maui, you know they can't afford to buy the land fair market value. So what could happen to them? These are the things that ILM is trying to hide. But that's the future of Hawaiian homes. They're going to say, you know what, we don't want money. We're going to dissolve here. We're going to make them fee simple. Okay, you know what, you guys going to get opportunity to have your land now. But we're going to make them fee simple, but you got to buy them. You see what I mean? That's what they're going to do. This is the avenue. Because they did that in Nanakuli when they made the longs drugs and the homeless supposedly affordable. Because they took federal money, they couldn't stop non-Hawaiians living on top of Hawaiian homeland. So these are the things that is a big punch in everybody's eye going forward.
Did they say anything about, as you know, I continue to read, beneficiaries may receive 99-year homestead leases at $1 per year for residential, agricultural, pastoral purposes. But what you're talking about, did they mention anything about doing conversion to the fee?
Some of these guys are paying more than just $1. They're paying land tax. They're paying all these other fees that they never paid previously. It's a crock. It's a big shame that they do it this way. Now they're paying all these other fees that they never paid before. Because I asked them, how is it possible that you guys are not paying $1 a year? So those things are going to change. And then the associations in the Kapolei area, that's by Kamakana Ali, they all get servants package from the mall. So if we get a casino, possibility, bigger packages. But those guys don't want a casino in their backyard. They reached out to me, and this is the reason why we're here today. We're not gonna let them know. They're already getting enticed, and people are already calling them and telling them how great their benefit package is going to be. Onto whose back, right? So to this day, do you have your homestead right now, or do you have the place that you're living in?
No, no, I don't.
And I'm gonna tell you this. This is the honest truth. I tell you, everybody in Facebook land, you're not gonna get them, even if the casino there 10 years, 20 years. You're not gonna get them because that's a pinhole. Literally, they're gonna make an excuse. Because like you said, the state gonna bail out, and then what? We're gonna get shot in on the stick. Because now the governor gonna pick the commission, the gambling commission, right? The gambling, and one beneficiary gonna be on the list. What makes you think later on they're gonna go to legislation and say, you know what? Instead of getting $50 million a year from the casino, you know what? We're gonna give them $10 million a year from the casino. That's what University of Hawaii did to the Mauna, right? They don't give OHA money for the land. Every year, OHA gotta fight legislatively to get money for the Hawaiian people. What makes you think this is going to be any different? It's just going to be another University of Hawaii, just a different title. You know, we come to the money. Oh, you know what? This year is kind of slow. We don't have enough tourists. We're going to give you guys $10 million shot. You see what I'm saying? There is no check and balances. At the end of the day, you is right. You totally right. They're going to shortchange the Hawaiian people. And he's not going to write nothing in writing. He will let Tyler Gomes be the scapegoat and say that this was Tyler Gomes' pet pee and baby, and you know it's not. Tyler Gomes was not a part of this, and he didn't write up. Maybe he did the research, whatever research he decided to make and call up doctors. You guys remember that? You guys see them, right? He asked the commissioners, oh, you guys like talk to the doctors from California? And then she said, oh, we don't like listen to that. You shouldn't.
You know, Senator, I spent several hours looking up the studies that were done by universities on the social impacts of gambling in communities. These are done by universities, well-known universities, and they were all consistent in and in fact, some of those studies were written specifically for casinos. And I did that post today about the hidden costs, the social costs.
Yes.
You know, I may be a little biased because of my law enforcement background, like Charlie, but we see the difference. We see the change in behaviors when things happen. There is a cause and effect, and the studies have consistently said, obviously, what doctor going to tell me otherwise? Drugs going to increase. Crime is going to increase. I'm talking property crime as well as crimes against persons.
Yes.
The social cost, as it relates, you mentioned it earlier, families, divorce, the abuse, the addictions to drugs, alcohol, gambling itself is a horrific addiction that's very tough to get out of.
Yes.
The sex trafficking. I saw somebody post, is there prostitution in Vegas? No, prostitution is illegal in Vegas, but it's legal in the adjoining counties, in other counties. But please, if you go into any casino in Vegas, or if you cannot pick out the prostitutes roaming the floor, you're not getting it. It's rampant over there, and these are the kinds of social costs that are hidden, because when you walk through the casino to go eat dinner at the buffet, you're not seeing that. You're not seeing it. But if you talk to the people, you know, I was blessed to serve in the council for so long, traveling throughout the country for different conferences and meetings, speaking to all of the legislators and administrators that represent cities or counties that have gambling. They all say the same thing: keep Hawaii gambling free. You do not want to introduce gambling. It's a train that cannot be stopped, and the problems that come with it outweigh the fiscal benefits
Yes.
of gambling. It's a choice that you want to make. Am I willing to sacrifice the fabric of our communities for
That's right.
bucks? and we don't have any freaking experience with casinos. I'm not even gonna get in anyway.
Yeah.
But I wanted to tell this story because when my mom was at the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota, at Rochester, Minnesota, my brother and I would walk down to the little general store below our hotel, and we would go buy our lottery ticket every week. We were there for a while, and we got to know the store owner quite well. And we were talking and sharing, and he was shocked to hear that we didn't have any gambling in Hawaii, any, no bingos, no lotteries, nothing, zero. And he said, keep it that way. He said, you know how hard it is. And this hit me hard when he said it to us. This is an elderly guy, but he said, you know how hard it is to sell these scratch cards, to sell these lottery tickets to the senior citizens that are spending their entire checks on gambling for the hope that they're going to hit a big one, and they don't. And they wipe out their entire Social Security checks, and then they rely on soup kitchens and food banks to eat. He said, please you do not want to bring gambling, any kind of gambling. He said any kind of gambling. A lot of people say we should get a lottery, we should get this and that. He was adamant. He said he sees the damage to our senior citizens. And it hit me really, really hard because I didn't think of that part. I mean, I knew addiction, but he says it's amazing how many of them just line up. The day after they call the number, they're selling new tickets, they're all lining up, spending all their money on lotteries or scratch cards. So sad. And for Isla and Joby and all of these other people to think that we are going to be any different is ludicrous. And the people that get hurt with gambling addictions are the ones that cannot afford it. They are the ones that the least, they can least afford it, are the ones that get victimized.
Yep.
And this cannot continue. This cannot continue.
You're right, totally right. And that's the sad part, is that the people that's going to hurt the most is the ones that cannot afford it. And they're going to be right there down the tubes, and who's going to be there? I just want to plead, like I said, just come out, sine wave. We're going to have a nice social distance at time and wear your mask, and we'll play music, and we'll have some people come out and share. But the bottom line is, we don't want casinos in the state of Hawaii. It will change the dynamics of our whole island. And sorry for the people that do want gambling, but you know what? You know why I don't go Vegas and go gamble? I cannot afford it. How much you think I get paid? I can't afford to go Vegas. You know what I mean? Let alone lose money in Vegas. If I cannot eat my money, I'm not going to gamble away my money. You know what I mean? So, as you can tell, I eat a lot. But the bottom line is, that's the reason why Vegas is there, right? If you cannot afford to go to Vegas, then you shouldn't go to Vegas. That's all I'm saying. Because I know plenty of guys, they make smoked meat, sell lao, they're collecting cans just to buy one ticket to go Vegas. And they don't even have $1,000 in their pocket. Why? I just saying, like I said, thank you guys for blessing me with the opportunity to be on your guys' show. It was an awesome time, and like I said, I'm always open. Anybody want to ask me any questions? I challenge anyone out there to go over there and see Colin Watson's lease and see how much he paying. They could be going to Hawaiian homes to build homes. I like to see people challenge me and let me know that what I was saying wasn't true about all of those grants that he got from Hawaiian Homeland. And we see from there. Because if people pay a fair market value for the leases, right? I know a lot of trucking companies, a lot of construction companies who's Hawaiian. They'll pay a fair market value because they have no place to go. But they do not give them an opportunity. Only the ones, again, the haves and the have-not Hawaiians. And that's the sad part. So again, thank you guys again. Big mahalos. God bless you guys. Thank you.
Okay, hang on. Charlie, what's your closing comments, Charlie? Whew, that was a whirlwind, boy. Wow.
I'd like to say, I have a funny feeling, Mr. Isla and the rest of you see, when you get on vote as 5-4, that is not an overwhelming vote. That's splitting them right down the middle. That's the worst vote you can have, is having one that's on 5-4. If you get 9, you like get 8-1. You know, you like your convincing vote. This is not
Yes.
convincing, not by a far stretch. I don't care what anybody
Yes.
says.
Totally
But
agree.
I just wanted to say that, I know Mr. Ayla is looking at objective number 3 under protect, ensuring the financial well-being of the trust. That is to diversify and increase revenue streams. But yet, if you go up to the value statement, it says to ensure the Hawaiian Homelands Trust is on solid foundation with sound policies and procedures, a long-term sustainable financial plan. Unless they can show you that this casino is a long-term sustainable financial plan, this is all I got to say about casino. If it's not done right, that's why you shouldn't even, like Mel said, you shouldn't even play with it.
Yep.
Casinos, you will end up, the word casino will take the word home out of homelands. So basically, there will be no homes for Hawaiians. Plain and simple. If the casino is there, it will guarantee destroy the word homelands. And that's what this document was generated for, Hawaiian homelands.
Yes.
If you having a revenue stream that's, number one, it's illegal in Hawaii, then that means once, if through legislation they approve it to go full strong with this on the homelands, then what's to stop other places from
Yes.
setting up? What's to set up slot machines in zippies? Okay, then that means, unless, a lot of kids, they go buy food, right? Now, unless they're 21 or over, they're not gonna go inside buy food, because you're gonna get slot machines if you let it go. So there's a lot of fallback in this whole thing from the start to finish. So my whole thinking is, I appreciate you, Senator. Thank you for coming on. You brought a lot of things to light, and I hope for the viewers out there, you can see the plight that we as like he said, whether you 1/16th Hawaiian or whether you pure-blooded Hawaiian, Hawaiian is Hawaiian. You know what's right. You know what we gotta do to protect our lands, because, like I said, I'm at 37 years now, and all I can do is smile, because you can't do anything else. And hopefully, like you said, things can change over time. Hope I can see it in my lifetime. Maybe not, but maybe the generation after us, maybe they'll be able to. So mahalo.
Well,
Thanks, Charlie. Senator, it's always a pleasure, man.
yeah.
I tell you, brother, you're awesome, and keep on the fight. Send me over the flyer. We'll post up everything we can on our page, Charlie and on our pages, so we can get as much exposure as possible to try to get you as many people out there as possible. We'll definitely be there in spirit. Just a thought of thinking about the casino, knowing that we don't even have COVID under control yet. COVID is just this. We should be focusing on COVID and getting people in homes now, not a damn casino. I did want to say they tried to do the same thing here in Kauai. The little patch of land by Lidgate Beach, they wanted to sell it off and put up timeshares so they could generate the funds necessary to build more housing. That got killed. We as a council stood up and did a resolution against it. We were very vocal. And this is why I'm saying this, is I'm challenging now Kauai County Council, Honolulu City Council, Maui County Council, Big Island County Council. All mayors need to come together with a united opposition against this. Now is not the time for politicians to sit back and shut up. No, now is the time for politicians to stand up and be counted. I want to know where each and every single elected official sits on this decision, on this ridiculous proposal. And I'm so over this, everybody being quiet, everybody being politically correct. No, this is going to destroy our state as we know it. That is not even disputable. That's a fact. And it's time everybody stand up and be counted. So thank you again, sir. Appreciate you so much, brother. You always, like I said, you always rally up our viewers. And just know that I have not seen a comment that goes against what you're fighting for. So know that our viewers are behind you. We got your back. We'll be praying for you, my friend. Keep the fight, and we'll be right there with you, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. God bless.
Okay,
Happy
viewers,
New Year.
thank you. Thank you very much, viewers. We'll see you guys tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, guys. Take care. God bless. Stay safe. We love you guys. Aloha.